Hi, this is Kyle from Simply Country. Today I'm going to show you the controller for our F-Series machines. It's the same basic controller for the F110 all the way up to the F1100, and I'll point out some minor differences between the models, but this will give you a good idea of how it works and how to change any of the settings you need to. So I'll start by turning it on, and Fodder works. And here is the number of trays in the machine, so verify that is correct when it starts up. So this one is a F110 which has 12 trays, so it just says Fodder system and it has the number 12 there. Just verify that's correct when you get a new machine to make sure it is programmed correctly. And here we see that it's 71.1 degrees. It's in run mode, the cooling is on, and it's going to water in 60 minutes. They water every hour, and the timing starts when you first turn the machine on. Now when you first get it, the first thing you want to do is test things, test the valves in particular, and make sure your water and everything is hooked up correctly. So the way to do that is to press the manual button, and there's a bunch of options, so let's just go through one by one. We'll start at the valve open period. You press enter, and the valve open time, the default says 20 seconds, this one's set to 18, which is a good number. Basically that's how long the sprinkler valves are open, so it determines how much water you're getting. So if you wanted a little more water, you can turn it up. If you want a little less water, you can turn it down. Shouldn't ever really need to mess with that, but it's there in case. And we'll go back and down to test valves. And the F110 system, everything runs at the same time. So it really doesn't have any valves, so it just says valve 1. There's only one to choose from. It's either on or off. So it's set on, which is what you want. Otherwise, if you set this to off, like so, that means the machine will not water. So make sure that is set to on. And to test it, we can press this button right here. It tells us the pump is on, and inside there's water spraying right now, so it's working. And then we just press this button again and off. And on any machine larger than this, you're going to have more valves. So on these buttons here, F3 and F4 on this screen, you'll have an up and a down, so you can go up to valve 2, valve 3, valve 4, all the way up to valve 7 on an F1100. You can test each one individually, and if you ever want to run less fodder through your machine, you can actually turn certain valves off. That way your water's not going to waste. So use the set button on each valve to turn levels off if you want to use less than the full capacity of the machine. So we go back, and we'll go down to the lights, and currently this one is set to auto. That's the default setting. Basically that turns the light on and off. It's on about half the time. It's 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. If you feel like you want more light, simply press this button. Now the light is on, and if we leave it in this state, the light will stay on 24/7. Press it again, and it goes back to auto, and it'll be on about half the time. And down to the tank heater. And right now the heater is on. I'd recommend leaving it on in the colder months, especially in the winter time. In the summer, if it is like it is right now, it's about 100 degrees out, the heater can be off. That's not really necessary. We'll go back, we go down further. We have the temperature set point. So this is the main temperature control for the machine. So that's an important one. So right now it is set to 69 degrees. So if we want to change that, you simply press up or down, and that's it. And 70 degrees is the default. In the summertime when it's hot out, we'll usually run it just a little bit cooler, and in the wintertime you might turn it up to 71 or so. We'll go back, and those are the options on the manual control screen. We can press the back button to go back to the main screen, And since I've been messing with it here, it was not running, and since it's hot out, you can see the temperature is out of range. So we have an alarm right here that's telling us something isn't right. So if you press the alarm button, there it says temperature over max limit. So we can clear it, and of course it's going to come right back because the temperature's still out of range. So don't be alarmed, but that will stay there as long as the temperature is out of range. We see the cooling is on, however, so that should start dropping down right to where it needs to be. Now if we press the stop button, it says system stopped. Tells us what the temperature is, but as you can notice over here, it doesn't say cooling on, doesn't say heating on. There's no symbol for the lights to show the lights on. If you stop the system, it will not do anything. So if you ever stop it for any reason, you know, if you're harvesting and you just don't want to get wet, if it's going to water right now, make sure to stop it, then press start again to put it back in run mode. Otherwise it won't heat, won't cool, and won't water. So not a likely scenario where you'll really need that button, but it's there for your convenience. Now, a couple other things. We've been through most of the options here, but there's an extra setup menu that you might need to get to. So we're going to shut the machine down and turn it back on. And on the second screen, we're going to press the F3 button. So we'll say Fodder works, then it says the model. Let's press the F3 button. And now we see a different menu has come up. So you shouldn't need this, but if it's an older machine, it's been left off, you know, during a season or something, it's possible it may have forgotten who it is. So you can change the system model here. So if we increase, we can go up. You select how many trays your fodder machine has. And this one is F110 with 12 trays, so we'll leave it there. And then the other setting here is this one that says TEM, which stands for temperature. So this is some advanced temperature settings. And there we have the temperature alarm. And here we have it set at 60 degrees for under temp and 74 degrees for over temp. Now this doesn't control the temperature in any way, it just determines when the alarm comes on. So it gives us a range both on the cold and on the hot side to tell us something's not right. And that way we have an indication that the machine is too hot or too cold, and we can see what's going on. We'll go back. Hysteresis, that should be set to 1.0 for heating and 1.0 for cooling. And the deadband also should be set to 1.0. Basically the purpose of those is to give a little space when neither the heating or the cooling will run. If we were to set those at 0 and the temperature was set at 70 degrees, if it jumped up to 70.1, the air conditioning would come on, and if it dropped to 69.9, the heater could come on. Now that could work, but it's extremely energy inefficient, so it will use a lot of energy, and that's not what we want. So it just gives a little dead spot where the temperature is just right and it doesn't need to do anything. So the system model is set to 12. That's correct for this machine. You would press OK, and now it tells you to cycle the power to restart the system. So all you do is reach over and grab that switch on the side again, turn it off, wait a couple of seconds, and then turn it back on. And that's it. That's everything in the control system. As you can see, it's pretty simple to use. We try and make everything as easy as possible, you know, as user-friendly as possible. If you have any questions about that, feel free to give us a call, and we'd be happy to help you out.